Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the StabCast. I'm Dizzle.
And I am Mindy.
We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. Come and join us. We'd love to have you. If not, check it out later on YouTube.
Or on TikTok.
Can you do TikTok lives later? I always forget the rules on that.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can view them like 30 days after they're done.
Oh. Well,
but then they disappear.
So we'll see in the up to 30 days.
Yeah.
So follow us on all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do have, I don't mean to cut you off, sweetheart, but I do have a brand new mini series that is on TikTok, and I want you guys to all participate in everything and see it. And it is called Mindy's Mini Movie Facts, or Mindy's Mini Horror Movie Facts.
That's cool.
And I like to incorporate my name a little bit because Mindy and Minnie sound really good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So basically I decided that I was going to do that instead of like the mini reviews and mini recommendations because it wasn't getting much traction and everything. So I've been coming up with I've been digging up a lot of facts. A lot of facts. You would not believe, Daniel. So
well, you already had them before.
Let me lay this down on you, though.
Yeah, go.
I did not know this about Scream. I watched an entire 2-hour documentary, and I found out so much shit.
You learned new shit about Scream.
I learned new stuff, Daniel. Do you know the opening weekend for Scream? No one showed up.
I did know that.
Wes Craven and everybody, they came, but no one came.
Yeah, it was kind of a flop.
And then the second week, Wes said it was like he was touched by an angel, because in the second week, he started making more and more and more and more and more money, and it started to become an amazing craze. And it actually ended up with $100 million made. It won an MTV award.
Oh, the film's got a legacy on its own. Yeah.
And this is really cool, guys. Not only did they make $100 million, but they were actually the highest grossing horror movie in history for a while.
Jesus.
They held that title for quite a little bit.
There you
go. I learned stuff. Yeah. I did. And today I watched stuff about the exorcists and whatnot, and found out that Linda Blair puked up not only the pea soup, but they mixed it with oatmeal.
Oh, they mixed it with
so it'll be chunky.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they got that chunkiness from. All right. So anyways, Daniel, Dizzle, why don't you introduce us to the show here? Tell everybody what we're going to be doing.
Well, welcome to the StabCast Hootie Hoo. I'm here with Mindy. I'm Dizzle. We're here for a special new movie review. We're talking about Mr. Crockett on Hulu. So everybody, hopefully you booted up your Hulu this week and you watched the new This is a new movie for us. It came out this year. It came out very recently. So we figured we'd hit that up.
Yeah.
Do a new one, but not necessarily a theatrical one. Maybe you guys watch this one at home on your Hulus. We did this one. And very excited to talk about it because I have super mixed opinions on it.
I do too, honestly. I really do. Especially after rewatching it today. I'm watching it fully in full, and then getting here and watching endings explained and shit. Because I don't know if anybody knows this, but I love ending explained shit.
Yeah.
Found flicks. Oh my God. I am such a fan. I would love to be on their show.
Yeah.
But other people do it too, where they explain the entire story and the ending. Yeah. And I like that after a good horror movie, honestly, because it kind of brings the meat and potatoes out of the story.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it talks about the meat and potatoes, because I'm going to tell you right now, this movie is a slow burn.
Yeah, to an extent.
I mean, it keeps you interested. I'm not going to lie. It does keep you interested. But it is a tad bit of a slow burn, unfortunately.
Yes.
And that's where it went wrong.
Before we actually dive into spoilers and shit, the one thing I will say about the movie for people that are just coming in to kind of see if they want to see it.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It is pretty.
It's It's a pretty movie. It's fun to look at. The CVX or whatever the fuck it's called. The graphics on. I mean, amazing. The animation that they do is perfect. Like all of the effects on this thing are fucking great.
And a lot of the effects I found out were actually practical.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean, good on them. Good on Hulu.
Yeah, 100%.
They did a really good job because I'm not one for Hulu originals.
No, they usually
blow. Unless they pair like the body, unless they pair like with like another company. Blumhouse, like the body, and Happy New Year to you. And
Thanksgiving can still kiss
still kiss our asses though. Not the Eli Roth one.
Yeah, but going back, I've watched that again recently.
Oh, did you? Where is it? Please share.
It was on Max or Netflix. It was on Max or Netflix. I forgot which one. Okay. But I watched it like a month ago.
Okay.
And around Halloween time. Extremely mid going back and watching.
Really?
Yeah, it's extremely not like there's good parts of it, but it's like even in theaters I remember being like
it was a tad predictable.
Yeah, it's good, but it's one of those movies that I feel like if you go back and watch a couple times, you're like,
yeah, it's not going to be a fan favorite. It's not going to be a cult classic. I mean, I haven't even heard anybody bring it up.
Yeah, it's not one. Thanksgiving's coming around. I don't want to I got to watch the Dead Eli. And I know that's what he wanted. I watched interviews. And he's like, I want people around Thanksgiving time to this be their horror movie. It's not.
And I feel bad for Eli Roth. I really do, because he has come up with such amazing
and he's taken a hit lately.
And he has taken a really big hit.
Yeah, with that shit Borderlands movie that fucking like the biggest bomb in box office history. Yeah. It made nothing. Like it fucking like cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. He will never get a big budget movie again.
Nope.
And I don't mean that in a negative way or a rude way, but when you let a studio down like that, and
you're screwed.
And it's not necessarily his fault. They were trying to build a universe that felt like it's more superhero bullshit, even though it wasn't really superhero. Okay. But it was very franchisey bad. I saw it. It wasn't great. But
I only saw reviews.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie. It was very like Kevin Hart and Jack. It was just so we're trying to be a blockbuster so hard, and it just didn't work. Thanksgiving, I think it kind of shows he's leaning into that mainstream. Like I can see after watching Borderlands, I can watch Thanksgiving. It's like I can see where he's going mentally, and like as a director. And I don't like it. Not a fan. I love early Eli Roth.
Yeah. Bring us back, Cabin Fever.
Movies. Hostel's a great movie.
I mean, Saw, Hostel. Come on.
He
did. He was on the first one. I thought
he might have been a producer.
I thought he was a producer on the first one. Dog. I know he didn't direct it, but I'm pretty sure that he had he might have worked on it.
But Hostel's his shit.
But Hostel is his shit. Yeah, and I don't like torture. I really don't.
Yeah.
I've never watched the Hostel movies.
Not even the first one. Mm-mm. The first one's. I put the first one up as a classic.
I mean, maybe I'll watch the first one after talking to you about it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not a torture girl.
Yeah.
Like even when Saw became more torture-y.
Yeah, torture.
I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, it got a little much.
Do you remember that? You were I think you were 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I was 15 or 16, something like that. And my best friend Billy was in the other room with my mom, and me and Dizzle are watching Saw 3.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, this guy gets thrown into a vat of pig guts.
So good.
And he's laughing his ass off. And I literally got up and went in my mom's room and puked. And I was like, Billy, you got to go out there. I can't do this.
That's hilarious.
And he's like, what? I know it is hilarious that it happened to me. Because that's never happened. No. So it is really funny.
You're not a puker.
No, I'm not. Normally I can get through a movie without throwing up.
Yeah, you're better than me with this shit.
I couldn't. And I was like, Billy, you got to go out there with him, man. Yeah. You already seen it. Yeah. And he was like, huh? I'm like, someone's got to watch it with him, and it ain't going to be me.
Yeah, I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it. I tap out. And Mom's like, Mindy, you can't. I'm like, I tap out. Yeah. And she's like, okay, fine. Go to your room then. And I was like, happily.
I mean, I do have a love for the Saw movies, just the first couple, though.
Jigsaw was good, though.
Jigsaw was
I think we discussed this last week.
Yeah, we have talked about this.
So let's move on.
Mr. Crockett, let's see who directed this fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't even know who directed it and what kind of budget they had. Guys, we are good. We are good at our jobs.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes we need a little bit of help.
Well, you're the mind, and I'm fucking here for the vibes. Brandon Epsey is the director, and he also wrote the screenplay.
With Carl Reed.
This is who he wrote it with. And it's starring Elvis Nolasco and Jerrica Hinton.
Okay. And it was also produced by Carol Reed, just so everybody knows.
So there you go. This movie is interesting. Now that we're kind of getting into spoiler territory, I don't want to give all this away because this is such a new movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
But there are certain things about this that I really enjoyed, and there's certain things about this that made me go, "What the fuck am I watching? Why?"
The beginning for me was that.
Yeah. Why did this get put to screen?
The beginning for me was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
And we said it before the show, and I don't want to take full credit because I've also read this somewhere, but this is Nightmare on Elm Street meets fucking Mr. Rogers. That's what this is. It's basically Mr. Rogers in a fucked up universe where he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's not, and like I said before, it's a pretty movie. And it's pretty in that
too. It's gorgeous.
This movie is all spectacle. You're going in for that. Oh my God, it's like Mr. Rogers, but it's scary.
Yeah.
It's fucking, and it's a pretty movie. They do the effects. Everything about that is good. But then when it comes time for like, I mean, to give a wrestling analogy, when the bell rings and like it's time to give some substance and story,
rumble.
and it's time to like tell a story, it falls flat.
Yeah, it took a long time to get to the meat and potatoes of the story. You had to go through a lot of walls to get there, and it was too much. Like the beginning of the movie was like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
When he slashed Kevin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoved the plate in there. It's like, oh yeah.
It set the tone.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
And like it set the tone of what was going on. I kind of think I was going to tell you this earlier, but Babadook.
You see, you get that a little bit?
A little bit, especially because like he magically appeared.
Yeah.
The like library magically appeared.
Yeah.
The Babadook magically appeared. What was Summer and Major going through? Grief.
Yeah, that's true.
What were they going through in the Babadook? Grief.
Yeah, there's similar plot points there. Yeah. It's a totally different dressing.
Totally different, like atmosphere and dressing and everything else.
Yeah.
But
some
it's
plot
similar.
Points, yeah, for sure. I can see that, absolutely. But this one just had a lot more spectacle around it. And it's just so much fluff and not enough, punch.
Yeah.
And yes, that kill at the beginning. And there are even other things in this movie that are like, oh my God, this is a crazy horror movie. This is like, it gives, I'm not going to say Terrifier vibes or nothing, but it gets very fucking scary and a bit gory throughout almost. Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but ever since Terrifier 3 broke records and shit, everybody is going with gore.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the
the new craze is gore. Yeah. And like
it made $50 million and a $2 million budget. That movie,
and he's a mime.
It's and I have never seen an indie startup like anything in any industry, not just horror. I have never seen such low budget rise to such fucking big lengths.
Yeah, like honestly, good job.
In 3 movies, the third movie, like, I made $50 million. Like, and the first couple were like $100,000, like short films that cost nothing. And the fact they built Art to Clown to $50 million with the third, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, and this is technically his 5th movie because All Hallows Eve and All Hallows Eve 2, even though they are anthology movies, he's in every single one.
Yeah.
So Terrifier was technically his 3rd movie. But it was, like Daniel said, very hush-hush, very independent, and it was actually just released on Tubi.
Yeah, it was a movement, like just a few people were watching, now more people, and then more, and then more, and now like the country's watching. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, this is kind of taking the nation.
Terrifier 2 actually premiered not last year, but the year before, on Halloween, not on Tubi.
And listen, and that thing, well, it hit theaters too.
Yeah, but it went in theaters too.
Because that thing made $18 million, and that was like, oh my god, this is insane.
Because that was like what, $500,000 budget, I think.
It was $250 again. It was a cheap movie.
Yeah,
and it made fucking $18 million, and everyone's like, oh, holy shit. So that's why, and then this one comes out and fucking kills that, and it's like, it triples that, and it's like, holy shit.
We have definitely got a new horror mascot, and his name is Art.
Yeah, people love him, casual people love him. People at work were talking to me about that movie, and that's how you know when a movie really, because it's not horror friends at work. Mm-hmm. It's casual conversation. Oh, did you see the new Twisters came out or some shit like that? But fucking like when they're coming to me like, dude, that Terrifier was crazy. It's like, yeah, oh my god, this has a reach. It's like everyone's watching this thing.
I've only had one person complain.
Well, and you're gonna get your complaints.
And you're gonna get your complaints because I will say that movie has no point.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the movie that we're supposed to be reviewing, Mr. Crockett. So let's get back to that.
Well, this one has, and that kind of tells you how interesting Mr. Crockett is with how much we keep veering off. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a super negative way, but this movie does lose you at certain points with it ham-fisting what it wants to do.
Yeah, like you really need to make sure that you're invested, because if you're not, you're going to lose track and you're going to have to keep going back. Like I myself had to keep going back.
Yeah.
And see what was going on, because I would like stare off into space for a second, and then like someone would be screaming, and it's like, oh shit, I missed something.
Yeah, and it's not even that convoluted of a plot. It just so much crazy shit's happening sometimes that you can lose it. Mm-hmm. But it what it does well is the fluff, is the spectacle, is the Mr. Crockett's on the TV show. It's all that shit happening at once.
I love you.
And the fact that yes, we do, and the fact that we get to see that, and this is about a mother, just fighting, and that's what the core plot is.
Mr. Crockett. Well, no, the core plot is that Mr. Crockett wants to have a safe space for children.
Yeah,
and they took it the wrong way when he was older.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like an MJ vibe. I'm not going to say anything more than that.
Yeah.
But he was just trying to have fun with the kids. The one little boy was named Anthony, and he was getting beat at home. So Mr. Crockett gave him a nice place to stay, but they didn't like it. And everything just turned out horrible. And he died, and he made a deal with the devil and about like giving them the parents and everything, and taking the children. Yeah, because he wanted the children to live in paradise.
That's all he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted 8 and under.
Yeah,
anybody older than 8, which we found out. Yeah, because Summer gets tricked, and she gets tricked by a man that said that he's looking for his daughter. Looking for his daughter. He wasn't looking for his daughter. He was looking for Mr. Crockett. That was the original boy.
Yeah.
Anthony. And Mr. Crockett was so disgusted with the fact that Anthony grew up. Peter Pan. That's what I was going to say the other day. Peter Pan.
Yeah.
He was so upset that he grew up that he killed him.
Jesus.
He had one of his monsters kill him.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's one of the more fucked up scenes.
Yeah.
It's one of the more fucked up scenes in the movie.
Because he just wanted Mr. Crockett to love him.
Yeah.
He even said, like, why don't you love me anymore?
Yeah, that's all any of the kids wanted. And it really, it's a good commentary on parents letting their kids watch whatever and all the fucked up shit that's out there. Something can seem so innocent, and then you show it to your kids and fucking now they're in a demon thing. And there you go. Mm-hmm. You fucked up. You let him watch the Coco Melon or whatever the hell it's called.
I will have to say, though, when he crawled out of the TV, when she threw the TV or whatever, and he crawled out, straight Ring vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, ring vibes right there.
I'm not going to lie. I saw the trailer for this, and I got sort of what they were going for. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think we were going, like, straight, like, Demon in the TV straight off. I thought it was going to be kind of like more.
That's how it happened.
But I thought it was going to be more grounded in reality. Okay. I thought it was going to be a bit more, walking into this, not knowing what Mr. Crockett was about, I thought it was going to be a bit more like when kids were watching Peppa the Pig on YouTube, and then it was going into like a somewhat like a demonic figure talking to them and telling them to do bad shit.
I think the social commentary on that was there, though.
Yeah, it was there, but they went full on fucking Demon in the TV.
Yeah.
And it was good, and it did work for the story more than what I thought. So I'm not mad at it.
He just wanted the kids to have a safe space. He didn't want the kids to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because he was hurt when he was a child. I mean, I feel kind of bad for the guy.
Yeah, you're fucking humanizing Mr. Crockett. He's a fucking devil.
Sorry, Daniel. He's a horrible man. Don't get me wrong. But he's got screwed over in life.
Don't make deals with the devil. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, everybody knows
Freddy Krueger did.
And look how it worked out for him. I mean, I guess he's a fan of what his
love
work.
you, Robert. Sorry.
We do, but still, holy shit. And I mean, I guess Nick Cage's Ghost Rider, it worked out too. But fucking, you don't make a deal with the devil there's always a drawback. That's kind of the whole point. There's always something that fucks you.
Yeah. So, like, are we going towards the end?
Yeah.
So, like, the little boy who was Summer's little boy, he was brought out of his trance by Summer blowing a whistle that he was blowing at first, and she told him that's it, because he smashed a picture of his dad and he smashed a trophy because his dad's dead, by the way.
Yes.
And she was like, that's it. I'm done being your mother. You can do whatever you want yourself. I'm done.
Yeah.
And she walked away, and Mr. Crockett was then summoned.
Yeah.
Like, people need to understand, like, the only reason that he gets summoned is when kids are treated horribly.
Yeah.
Because she even admitted that she treated him horribly. So, yeah, I mean, he's kind of a bad good guy.
In a way. I mean, it does come.
He has this convoluted way of being good.
Yeah. He shows up due to neglect, pretty much. But what he does is not good.
And yeah, it's a little over the top. Yeah. He doesn't have to kill the parents.
No.
But at the end, he thought that he had Summer's child all wrapped up in a pretty little bow for himself. And she started blowing this whistle that she took away from him. And it was able to bring him out of the trance.
Yeah.
And he actually swiped, and instead of grabbing the knife that Mr. Crockett had conjured to kill his mother, he stole Mr. Crockett's magic marker.
Ooh.
And stabbed his mother with it. So nothing happened. But then the mother grabbed it, and then that's when she slashed him in half.
Yep.
So, but he was still talking. And like she drew a door and stuff. It was very like Buffy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It was kind of like how
she
Buffy
drew
gets rid of
a door and stuff, like to a portal so they could get back. And like all the kids got back to their parents basically. Yeah. But then you think everything's okay. But then a few weeks later, what's his name? Major, his teachers, his principal actually came over to the house and was like, hey, we can't handle him anymore.
Yeah. And
she had like dozens of pictures of this kid biting people, this kid bruising people, fighting people. Like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. He was vicious. And then he's upstairs painting in his room, and he writes over a picture that he drew of Mr. Crockett. He writes dad.
Yeah.
And downstairs, the counselor told the mom that the kids are afraid of him because of his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a very interesting story, but it could have been wrapped up. It didn't need to be 125 minutes.
No.
Well, 125, sorry. 125 minutes. It didn't have to be that. No. It could have easily been a 90-minute.
I agree.
But I mean, You win some, you lose some. And for this being a Hulu original, I'm going to give it.
How many demonic Mr. Rogers do you give it?
I'm going to give it about 7.2 demonic Mr. Rogers.
That's a good rating.
Thank you.
I'm around the same. I'd say a 7.
7?
I go flat.
Okay. See, I have to add the 2 in there because of the gruesomeness.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful. It was so beautifully shot, guys. I cannot express that enough. It's so beautifully shot.
Yeah, no, that's the best part of the movie.
The cinematography.
That's what I'm saying. It is
the best part.
The effects, the cinematography, the Mr. Rogers like cartoons, the everything about that part of the movie is perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this kind of a must watch, and it makes it very entertaining. It's just you need to get to a story within that. And the story that they get to is very subpar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what brings it down to the 7.
Made us wait for it. Don't make us wait for something and then give us something that's
that's the thing. They were relying on the effects and the shots and the way that the movie was filmed more so than using it as a tool. And I think that's what drops it to a 7 for me. It could easily be an 8 or a 9 if it took that, expanded on that, and made it great.
Yeah.
It didn't really do that.
Now, there is room for a sequel.
There is.
Just so you know, there is room for a sequel because now that Major has the magic pen, Major's in charge.
Yeah, Major's the guy.
So, like, they could do a sequel.
Yeah, it could happen.
It very well could happen. They could even do a prequel.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they don't. But
no, I don't
they could.
Yeah.
So, and I would watch the sequel.
Oh,
I honestly would.
Me too.
They did honestly, Hulu, you did a really good job.
For a Hulu original, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And it seems like a big budget movie. I don't think it is, but it seems like it.
Yeah.
And it feels like it. It feels
and
like
unfortunately, we can't view the budget because it's Hulu.
Yeah. But it feels like a big budget theatrical movie. And so in that sense, they accomplish it.
Yeah.
The goal. But yeah, I thought it was just good to me.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been great. And that's what sours me a little bit is that I think it could have been great.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just good.
Yeah.
Next week.
What would you like to do next week?
I kind of want to like rank something or do something interesting.
Should we rank holiday movies?
Yeah, let's rank holiday horror movies.
All right.
Sounds good.
Like all the holidays?
I'm trying to see if Halloween should get like, because that seems like cheating, but
no, but we should do like November, like the special holidays, like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving, all the Christmas ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
like
so
Better
many.
Watch Out, Jack
Watch.
Frost.
Yes.
There's so many good horror movies. Like,
yeah, we can do
very
something
good.
like that. Holiday horror tier list.
Yeah.
How about that? So we'll hit everybody with that next week. Thank you for watching and following along. Make sure to keep on doing that. We're going to keep posting great content on the StabCast TikTok. StabCast My Life. Mindy.
It's actually just StabCast right now.
Okay, it's just StabCast.
I shortened it.
So there you go. Follow that. Follow us on YouTube at the StabCast with the Grudge picture. We look badass. So, yeah, follow us, and we'll see everybody next time. Give them a big old hooty hoo, man. We'll see everybody next time.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. We're going to see if we got any comments or anything.